You were so with that opposites idea, I thought that was so funny because I've done that with my students too, where I like, because this is sort of a a teaching kind of thing. So when people ask me like, or when I've had my students do improv, a lot of times, and this definitely happened to me, where I sort of plateaued. I had a bunch of plateaus. You'd kind of find some stuff, and then after a while, you started sounding the same, and then you'd get some inspiration or think of like triplets or something, and I can use triplet, and then so now you've added triplets. But then you come to like another plateau where you sound the same again, and then it's the plateau and the plateau. And one thing that I've tried to tell them is this opposites idea, like you said,
Yes.
of, and I love the one that you said about maybe like how to build your solo, and the typical is start pitiful and then build it,
Yeah.
And so that's maybe getting to your simple complex idea.
Sure,
right?
exactly.
Like talk about that.
Oh, absolutely. Another thing about soloing is to stay out of ruts, because I would find myself getting it, and I did for a little while. I was playing the same runs. I had these rabbit trails that I would just
Same riffs over and over. Yeah.
No grass grows there. Grass is growing everywhere else, but there's a couple spots. But no,
No grass grew.
I went. He played that like 10 times. And I play. And I will do some of the same licks, and I catch them. Yeah, no, and I like them, but I always struggle. I don't struggle. I strive. I don't struggle. Well, we all struggle. Struggling artists. Tormented souls. No, I want to play a new lick every night.
Yeah.
And something new that I have never played. Something that just through being creative, and
How about that rule? Play a new lick every night. I
yeah.
like that. I like that.
You take and I'm still playing blues. I'm always going to play blues, but what I do is I use rhythm to find new licks.
Talk about that. That's awesome.
Using polyrhythms and subdividing, and you can subdividing. You take a pulse and you double it, triple it, or whatever, and you can, but it's when you take it out. When you take a when you take a pulse and you cut it in half, and then you cut it in third.
Yeah.
And you play, bop 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 bop, and then and bop bop bop, and then that when you stretch that out. But we're not playing just one note every 3 beats. It's actually, those are accents to all this other stuff.
Yep.
That you can so you hit you hit your high note every one of those pulses.
Yeah.
Or or you can take I'll take and I'm just doing this with blues riffs, playing straight, when it's over a shuffle and making it sound right. Or I always like messing with good drummers.
Oh, sure.
And just trying to get them to follow me, or I'll start following them, like some of their fills and stuff.
Well, your brother, I mean, he probably deserves to be messed with a little
Yeah,
bit.
right.
My brother's a turd.
We used to do it all the we mess with each other all the time. Yeah, exactly. It's fun.
Take that,
Or just trying to find simple things.
I'm sure he gives it right back, doesn't he?
Oh, he is. The audience, man, that's.
Yeah.
But I don't want to get too far over their head.
Yeah.
I think that's
because you can't go too far out, or else the song just totally falls apart.
Or it gets kind of sterile and just weird.
Yeah. And like another one that I thought of, and you just sort of mentioned it, is, and jazz guys are king at this, where they will literally take it out of time. They'll be playing and they'll be riffing on and they had that little big run that was totally out of time, and then now they lock back in hard, and so there's your opposites again.
Exactly.
In time, out of time, in time, and
yes,
the out of time always sounds really dumb, but when you lock back in, it sounds freaking awesome.
Yeah, because all of a sudden you pulled it off.
And like you said about the rhythm, I love that idea of when you can't think of something, screw with your rhythm.
Exactly.
I love that.
That's what it is.
And you were talking about a whole bunch of these examples of when you're stagnant, and then you know, I look at it as like the parts of music or whatever, your dynamics, your rhythm, your notes, your for us like our bowing, your articulation, your
Yes.
tone, you know, all of those ideas that you can like take one of them and you go dynamics, and then now you do the same crap but you drop it, build it, drop, and all of a sudden now you're like, you sound different from the last song.
Yeah,
Right,
it's,
or
it's,
your rhythm or
it's
whatever.
about like talking too. You know, you think about some of the best speakers. I mean, but before I say this, I'll say that, you know, a rest in music is a note. You know, it's there. It means something. It's worth something. And when you see somebody talking and they're giving a speech, and they're just fucking, and they're just rambling and rambling and da 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 da. It gets, you kind of tune it out.
Yep.
But when you really give space where it's needed the most, like Shatner. You know.
And there's that's your opposites again. Space,
Yes.
no space, but yeah.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
like,
That's
I think that's absolutely awesome. I wish, or that's, to me, that's like one way to do it, but I think it's a pretty awesome way to conceptualize it if you're stagnant.
it's a simple way of looking at it that
Yeah.
you can really, and I think any player can get something from that, whether you're a drummer or experienced player, new player. You know, there's people, the guys that get, you know, we all do this a lot, and you can get burnt out. You know, you got to find ways. It's just a real simple way to think about it, I think. That you can,
Yeah.
So yeah.
That's great, man. Yeah, that's cool.